Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to today's video where I'm going to show you the forbidden, the forgotten, the complete teaching in a matter of minutes. Look around me, there is no script. Everything is dark, it's in the evening. People bring messages and this propaganda, it's bullshit, it's premeditated, people have their whatever they're going on. I want you to see that this is not premeditated, this is on the fly, this is done from the back of my mind. And the reason why I want to do that is because I want to show you authenticity. Because people on the earth, let me explain you this, there is a caste system. So I'm technically not allowed to do this, and I'm going to explain you why I'm not allowed to do this. You come from a city or you come from a country, and that city or country has an own destiny. So in that destiny, there is a priesthood. You know that guy or that woman that goes to priest school and then go to the church or the synagogue and educates you. That's the divine right to an own destiny. Somebody's political class, somebody's religious class, somebody's merchant class, right? And every single religious timeline ticks on their own level. The religious normality of Germans are not the same as the religious normalities of the Americans. Every kind on the earth has its own destiny, and the one of the Jews is ancient. All right? So every priest is trained for the own individual national destiny. And this, what you're looking at, is called interference, ladies and gentlemen, because I'm overseeing the entire globe, and I have not been born. I'm not coming from the right tribe. I haven't gone to the right university. I haven't been anointed by the right whatever. And these religious cycles, ladies and gentlemen, on top of the hill is the Pope of Rome. Yeah. So the problem with these religious figures is that when humanity's normality ticks on, when time ticks on, when the religious message needs to be delivered, it is done through these priesthoods. The system activates the religious centers in the West, and out of that comes the message. So when I come here as ascended master, and I start to interfere, I'm interfering with religious timeline humanity, and nobody's going to appreciate that. So this is a benchmark. I'm showing you a benchmark. So when the Pope of Rome go on the stage every Sunday, he is doing something, he's giving a message, and that message reflects the Catholic destiny today. And so there are all kinds of priests all over the world, and whatever they say is a reflection of the destiny of the territory they are governing in the religious sense of today. So I'm just going to claim the whole world's religious destiny and just evade that mess, because that's what it is. Let me explain you this. To properly translate the teaching, the forbidden and forgotten teaching, you have to, one, be intelligent. That's really important, because it's not an easy thing. It's not an easy thing to distill the entire thing. And the second thing is, you need to have a little bit of discipline. You have to have a certain type of character. Not like the entitlement of the priesthood of the world. Like, hey, I'm born to be a priest. I have the robes. I drive the Porsche. There are all the nuns, that carelessness. Born into it. This world hates religion. I want to be just like the world. In the church when the singers, set aside to sing, you were born to do something. You sing in the church, but you want to rather be a Hollywood singer. So you want to dance with the world. So most of these people born to be religious dynasty, religious caste, dynasty, Pope of Rome is a dynastical form of authority. It's no longer that strong, but this is religious energy. This is the perfected religious energy, ladies and gentlemen, the perfect etiquette. So anything that you learn is a violation. It's forbidden. The system will not accept it, but I will do it on the fly. And the people in these religious buildings have the divine right to administrate that to timeline humanity, but they don't have the interest. They don't want to do this. They didn't want to go into teaching. They didn't want to invest 20 years in investigation as an individual with the whole surroundings rejecting them. Just imagine being a priest, man, in this world. Hey, you're crazy. You believe in the fairy tales, you know, and everyone looking at you like, what you doing? Why are you investing all your time in that? Why don't you do something that is good for the world today? Blah blah blah. Just go to the world, do something good. So all these political forces, these societarian forces, are going to get the mind of the priest into something else. Then the perfection of the distillation of the synthesis of the forbidden and forgotten teaching. All right, so this is the introduction. I'm doing this on the fly. This is a benchmark, religious intelligence. Show me a priest. Show me a priest. Show me the Pope of Rome next Sunday performing a higher benchmark. That's all I'm doing here. I'm showing you this is they can't generate this. This is called the standard of ascended mastery. It's not bound to this earth. And anyone can prove me wrong. Just call the Pope, call whatever priest, and ask that priest. Don't show this video. Don't show this video. Just ask the priest, can you distill the essence of the religion? Can you distill the essence of the teaching better than this guy? But don't show this video. Let the priest explain the essence of religion. But don't show the video. And compare it to this, and you'll understand what I'm talking about with benchmarking. All right, are you ready? Are you ready to receive the entire picture, the teaching? You know, Adam was immortal. Adam was immortal. No dying, nothing. No suffering, nothing. No misery, nothing. Perfect genes. Perfect genes. Are you listening to me? No suffering, nothing. It was perfect. Okay? This earth was created for the human, and the human could rule this earth. World power, global ruler, Adam. And God Almighty creates some kind of a construct. You can do anything you want. Just don't touch that button. It's a respect thing. You know what I'm saying? It's a respect thing. Do whatever you want. Don't touch that button. Why not? Because I say so. So we have God Almighty creating everything. Everything. Say to the human, just don't touch that button. And what does God see? He see Adam eat the apple. Okay? This is a little bit the psychology of God. And this is what happened. When the angels of God rebelled against the Creator, He condemned them to eternal fire with no way back. He does not tolerate disobedience. There's zero tolerance policy for that. All right? So God created a realm for the devil to burn for all eternity. And what did the devil do? Disobey one time. Okay, so God's like a computer. It's really that simple. Who burns CD-ROMs that are not rewritable. The code is linear. If God say eat this apple, I will go, He will go. No rewritable, no second chance, nothing like that. God is not a human. There's no imperfection. When a king says this is the royal decree, no commoner will overwrite that. That is the law. When God say I'm going to forsake you when you touch that apple, and you will die. You're going to die, I'm telling you. And that's what happened to Adam. So God left us. This is humanity. This is the inheritance. This is the beginning. This is the core understanding. So God left. Now we're in terror. You know, now we die. Now everything is quote unquote shit. Okay? So humanity went without God, became mortal, cursed everywhere, everything broken, nothing works anymore. Stuff still not working. You know what I'm saying? It's not working. All right? And then all of a sudden, the flood, all this stuff that happened that destroyed humanity over and over again, all this suffering, cycles of negativity, and then Abraham showed up. This is the second part of the distillation of what you need to understand the bigger picture. So Abraham found the grace of God, and God promised Abraham, your son will bring forth the promised land, and that other son of yours will inherit many nations. So that's called the return. The return, ladies and gentlemen. It's that simple. The return. That's all you got to understand. First, the going away, bye-bye humanity, and there comes the return. Okay, so God's plan for the return, the non-rewritable CD-ROM, needs to be rewritten. How in the world do you do that? God created the construct, so he goes through the construct to fix it. So first, he chose Abraham. And Abraham had a son who was very smart, fast. Everyone liked him. But God did not choose that son. The chosen son was this timid figure that nobody liked, but God chose that one, and that's called the Jew. So the returning of God, the promise, comes to the Jew, but the Arab is also an Abraham's son. So that one has the legacy of inheriting many nations. So when the legacy went to the Jews, they had to go through hundreds of years of absolute terror of disciplination. Death penalty for this, death penalty for that, die because of this, be stoned for that. All kinds of death for everything. Going to the desert for 40 years, dying everyone. Dying this, dying that, death this. The disciplination of the Jews before they got the Messiah, Jesus Christ. The things they went through hundreds of years, they got smashed and smashed and smashed. They got smashed, the Jews. The rest of the world was partying and having fun and doing whatever the world does. And at the same time, the Jews were crushed into obedience for centuries, so that they get the promised child, which is Jesus Christ, and they rejected it. So the mental, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to the third part of the distillation of the secret forbidden teaching that has been forgotten, and that the priest of humanity cannot give you, because they simply are not intelligent enough and not disciplined enough to do the proper study and understand the proper mechanics. This is the thing. So the Jewish promised, the promised thing, God returning back to the earth, God coming back, Adam, the Adamite, the blessing, life that works, the leader. Something is going on the earth. There is a timeline on the earth where God left. I explained it. And there's a timeline of God's return. And who is leading God's return? That's the Jew, the promised child. And that energy of leading the timeline went to the Roman Empire. The Jew didn't want it. Okay, fine. Poof, the grace of God went to the Gentiles. And the Roman Emperor at 300 after Christ converted to Christianity. And there you go. Imperial grace. Leading humanity towards the coming of God to fix it. So Rome, Roman Empire, then come German Empire, British Empire, American Empire. This legacy of the Jew, the leading humanity back. Leading humanity back where Adam destroyed. Starting from Abraham, going all the way to Rome, into Europe, into the United States. And there we go. What happened? Arabians showed up, and they took Europe, and they took this, and they took that, because if you start to mess with God as the promised child, your rival shows up. So the Arabian has this Abrahamite energy of you will inherit many nations. Every single time when the timeline of God's returning to the earth goes wrong, God allows the Arabian to just walk in and take it all. And then when the promised child lineage gets his senses back, then you have reconquistas and everything is back to normal and the timeline continues. That's called arrival. So there is a timeline of the returning of God to humanity, creating a system that works. This is the essence. It doesn't work, right? Look around you. Humanity doesn't work. And why doesn't it work? There is a legacy. Every single day there's a legacy. There's a destiny. The undoing of what Adam has done. God is gone. And all these people in all these lands just doing something. They think they're all special, but they're not special. It's cycles, ups and downs, and it's all the same. Empire go, empire come. Kingdom come, kingdom go. It's the same useless bullshit happening all over again, and it never works because it's cursed. It's meant to die. Right? So the only way to get a humanity that works, one needs to go back to the status that Adam was, and that timeline is led by the United States of America. It's not that America is doing it right. I'm not saying that. I'm just saying the Jewish mantle fell upon Rome, that fell upon Germany, fell upon Britain, and eventually fell upon the United States, whereby that legacy of the return, leading humanity to when everything works again, through the grace of God, whereby you become like Adam again, eternal life coming back, a functioning civilization. If you follow me, and if you understand me, this is the forgotten and forbidden teaching. You can't succeed. It's not possible. The CD-ROM has been cursed. It's non-rewritable. It's never going to happen. The only way it's going to happen is if you are part of that timeline, and you cannot be part of that timeline unless you are an Abraham's son. So you have to be an Arabian, the first son the first son of Abraham. Everyone liked it, sports, performance, or you got to be a Jew, the Jewish figure. Nothing to do with sports, just the blessing of God upon it. God leads the return through the Jew, and the Jew messed it up. So now in the West, that legacy is in the West, but that's going away, because the texts say, in the end of the era, the legacy will simply go back to Israel. It is lent. It is lent. The West's power is lent. It's borrowed. The Jews rejected heaven, and heaven does not tolerate that kind of stuff. So what the Jews worked for centuries for was cheap sprayed into the West for thousands of years, and the West ruled the world and brought it to where it is right now. Total invincible energy. Total invincible, because it's that timeline that is trying to restore the harmony to the earth, going back to where Adam goes wrong. We're not there yet. Earth is not back to where Adam was, but that's where we're going. And to lead humanity back to the time of Adam, your legacy needs to be part of that timeline. You need to have that godly energy, whereby you need to be an Arab or a Jew, or you need to have a Christian mantle. And the more we go to the end of the era, the more this Christian mantle is dying and given back to the Jew, because it was never for the West. All right, it was never for the West. So there's all kinds of end time eschatology about this process, but I just want you to understand. If you believe that God is not real, and you think religion is useless and it doesn't work and it's the source of all war and all confusion, you are wrong, because you need to be in the wave that goes back to the condition of Adam to create a functioning society. And it's not there yet, because you can't play games with heaven. If you play a game with heaven like how the Jews did, you're going to be removed for 2,000 years. There's no games. People playing these games. Okay? So we have Pope of Rome. That's really great. It's really nice. But that's games. These people are playing games. And all these games these people play, that's why you are saying, what is religion? Why do we need this? What's the purpose? Because the ones who are born to be priests are playing games. So you see these stupid games and think religion is powerless. No. As I speak, there is a destiny of the return of the harmony to the earth, whereby you can live like Adam. But if you're not a Christian or an Arab, you're not part of that. If you're an Arab and you're not a Christian, you play rival. So when God is angry at the promised child, I don't know, the replacement of the Jew, or the Jew coming back, the whole eschatology thing, that wind of grace, or wind of promise of, the you will inherit many nations. These are the two winds that are trying to get the condition of Adam back to the earth. If you're not part of that, you can yap, you can talk all this big shit. You will come and go like many. You will come and go like many. You will not have part of this promise. This is the essence of religion. This is the forbidden and forgotten teaching, summarized, synthesized, simplified for you. This is religion. This is what's happening. It's alive. It's coming back. It's the undoing of Adam's problem. That's what religion is. You're part of it, or you are working against it, and that's this duality. You're from God or you're from the evil. It's really that simple. You can't fake this thing. You can't act like you are a good person when you are hindering the return to the condition of humanity, going back to the state when it wasn't cursed. You can't say you're a good person when you're hindering that, when you're trying to stop the Abrahamites, the Jews and the Arabs and the Christians. This is it. Distilled for you.